Your house is always talking to you. That little creak in the floor, the drip from a faucet. But one of the most important ways it communicates is through its electrical system. It's sending you signals all the time. The real question is, are you listening? Because those little whispers, well, they can turn into a serious cry for help really, really fast.
So let's just make this personal for a second. Think about your own place. Have you ever been, just watching TV and the lights kind of flicker for a moment? Or maybe you go to unplug your phone and the charger or even the outlet itself feels surprisingly warm. Yeah, those little moments, that's exactly what we're talking about. Look, these aren't just weird quirks that old houses have. Flickering lights, a breaker you're constantly resetting, that weird low buzz coming from the electrical panel, heck, even a strange faint smell that's kind of fishy. Every single one of these is like an SOS signal. It's a clear warning that your electrical system is way overstressed and needs help before a tiny problem blows up into a huge one. So, let's get into it. We're going to decode that language, because understanding what these symptoms actually mean is the key to stopping a little annoyance from turning into a full-blown disaster. What's pretty wild is how fast these things can get worse, especially when you factor in certain conditions. To really get why, we're going to look at a case study from Humble, Texas. Now, it's a place with some really intense heat and humidity, perfect conditions for pushing an electrical system to its absolute limits. But the problems they see there, oh yeah, they can happen anywhere. So that flickering light we talked about, it's almost never actually about the light bulb. Nope. It's a symptom of something much deeper going on behind your walls. And that's where the real danger is hiding. Okay, so a huge culprit is the electrical panel itself. A lot of homes built before, say, 1990 have these 100-amp panels. Now just think about that for a second. That panel was designed before we had electric cars, high-powered air conditioners, and entire home offices running all at once. It's basically like trying to power a brand new supercomputer with a couple of AA batteries. The whole panel just gets overloaded, it starts to overheat, and that creates a very real fire risk. And here's the absolute core of the problem. Over time, the connections in your wiring just naturally loosen up. This creates electrical resistance, and what does resistance create? It creates heat. That heat is what makes your outlets feel warm. It's what causes them to just stop working. And eventually, it can spark a fire that's completely hidden from view. Oh, and if your home was built back in the 60s or 70s, you might have another hidden danger lurking: aluminum wiring. See, aluminum expands and contracts with heat and cold much more than copper does. All that constant movement just wiggles those critical connections loose, creating the exact same hot, dangerous spots inside your walls. And the place you live? It can act like a stress multiplier. Let's go back to our Texas example. All that high humidity causes corrosion and rust on electrical connections. Frequent storms bring power surges. And the extreme heat? It means your AC is running nonstop, putting a massive, constant strain on the entire system. These things can take a slow decay and turn it into a rapid failure. But here is the good news. Just as our demands for power has exploded, the technology designed to keep us safe has evolved like you wouldn't believe. So let's take a look at the modern safety net that's been developed to protect our homes today. The really crucial leap forward is in the breaker technology itself. An old-school breaker was pretty dumb. It just protected against a total overload. That's it. But modern AFCI and GFCI breakers, they are incredibly smart. An AFCI breaker can actually detect tiny, dangerous electrical sparks, the kind that start fires, and it shuts the power off instantly. A GFCI breaker detects ground faults, protecting you from a life-threatening shock, especially in places like kitchens and bathrooms. It's a total game changer. And what about those storms, right? The Humble area gets around 70 thunderstorm days a year. A single lightning strike nearby can send a massive power surge through your home's wiring, and poof, there goes every sensitive piece of electronics you own. This is why a whole house surge protector, the kind installed right at the panel, is now a critical part of a modern system. It's way beyond those little power strips. Okay, so how do you get your home's electrical system out of the 20th century and ready for the world we actually live in? It really is all about upgrading it to match the demands of your modern life. Let's talk numbers for a second, but let's reframe them. A panel upgrade to 200 amps might cost you somewhere between $1,500 and $3,000. And yeah, that sounds like a lot, but its value is that it safely powers everything you own while preventing that fire risk. A single AFCI/GFCI breaker? Way less, but it provides active, life-saving protection on that one circuit. The key is to stop seeing these as costs and start seeing them as direct investments in your family's safety.
Now listen, none of this is a DIY weekend project. Absolutely not. To make sure this work is done safely and correctly, you have to bring in a professional. So let's just quickly walk through what that process should look like so you know exactly what to expect.
A truly professional process should always be crystal clear. It starts with a thorough diagnosis, where they explain exactly what's wrong and give you an upfront, flat-rate quote. No surprises. The installation itself has to be code compliant, no exceptions. And finally, they should test every single thing and give you a warranty. It's a structured process, and it's designed for your safety and your peace of mind.
You're going to hear them talk about permits and inspections, and I get it. It can sound like a huge headache, but this is not just red tape. A permit means a third-party inspector comes out and verifies the work meets current safety codes. It is absolutely crucial for insurance claims, it's critical for selling your home, and honestly, it's your ultimate protection against somebody doing unsafe corner-cutting work. So, let's just end with this thought. We spend thousands on the latest phones, the newest computers, the most recent cars. But what about that invisible system that powers all of it? If your tech is from this decade, but your electrical panel is from the 1980s, well, it might just be time to start listening to what your home is trying to tell you.